so I wouldn't lose sales. I started by looking at the demand for Taj Mahal, Alley Cat, Edgar Ale. Then I kept the prices steady because it makes the demand easier to manage and prevents big drops that could hit sales. I planned out production for each month so I stayed within the fermenter limits and didn't go over the weekly capacity. I tried to spread out the production in a smooth way, especially in the months where demand was higher. My goal was to build enough sales and inventory each month so the available for sale number was always higher than the forecasted sales. That's how I avoided lost sales throughout the year. I also kept an eye on ending inventory so it didn't get too high. I didn't want to waste money storing extra product, so I tried to keep the inventory as good as possible. At the end, I used gross profit numbers and subtracted expenses to make sure my EBT stayed positive. I watched the EBT month by month, and overall my EBT was really high and good, and it worked out for our simulation.
Awesome. So on the next slide, there we go. So for the sales history, this is monthly. You can see that Alley Cat, we had a bit of lost sales throughout here, here, and then here. And you could tell it peaked and then we just fell behind a little bit. So we did end up with some lost sales there, which does hurt our overall EBT. And the Edgar and Taj Mahal, it stayed pretty consistent about that 2,000 to 4,000 level. And it's gradually increasing, so that shows positive growth. And then here are the lost sales that relate to that graph. So you can tell it's just all Alley Cat, and we just fell behind, and we had a decent amount of lost sales for Alley Cat. And then the inventory history, again, you can tell we tried stockpiling Alley Cat, but then we fell behind. We were able to get up a little bit, fell behind again. But throughout the whole graph, the Edgar and Taj Mahal are staying pretty consistent, which shows very good growth, especially towards the end as it's increasing to the December month. That way, next year we would be set up pretty good to start. So then with the financial statement, our income statement was 275,000, and that exceeded our goal by about 5,000, which we need to get 270 for the scenario. And then we had positive assets over liabilities, so we have more assets than liabilities. That shows good financial strength. And then yeah, that's about it.
So for the account balance chart, at the beginning of the year, cash slowly decreased, meaning expenses were higher than the money coming in. So around April to July, the cash balance raises steadily, showing that sales improved and production was better, aligning with demand, and costs were controlled more efficiently. After reaching a peak in the midsummer, the cash balance begins to drop again from August to December, suggesting higher costs, lower sales, or increased production. Next one, please. So the team ranking, the first one ranked was team number 3. They had over 300,000 EBT. We placed second and we got over 240, which is was the goal. And overall, the ranking shows which teams made the most profitable decisions and which struggled to manage cost. And the last 3 did negative, so I think we did good. And for conclusion, we were able to exceed our goal of 270,000 by achieving 275,000 and followed the general format of our plan, but made changes along the way. And we could have been more productive by trying to reduce the lost sales of Alley Cat.
All right, I think that's it. I think we did a very good job with it. And I think it was just the Alley Cat that limited us from reaching the 300,000 mark.
Okay, I will stop recording.